Good morning, Scorpio. Welcome back to Path of Enlightenment Tarot. For those of you returning to the channel, welcome back. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I am Nicole. Scorpio, energy update, check in, whatever you want to call this. Timing is fluid. This is for your sun, your moon, your rising. Cross watcher, if that's you, welcome to the channel. You guys have been here. You know the rules, the way it works, right? When I say I do believe, once again, cross my fingers, that I am all caught up on emails. And if you're interested in booking a personal reading, that information can be found in the description box below, as well as the about section of the page. Appointments are open and available. So there's that. I will say real quickly, too, if you hear whining in the background, Puppy was being bad this morning. She is now in her crate, and she is not enjoying life. So please bear with me and the whining. I've given up hope on getting her to zip it. So, all right, Scorpio, let's jump into it. Let's see what's going on with your energy. Spirit is saying primarily the weekend. The other thing I heard as I was meditating before I opened this video was about synastry. And I know that there's just like synastry charts, and it's like comparing you and your romantic partner and all of those kinds of things. I feel like it's more about peace and forgiveness of whatever situations you've dealt with. Spirit is calling it, there's a little bit of a lingering. So if you've moved on from something that's been difficult and it's required a lot of strength, a lot of will for you to get through, there still may be some part of forgiveness that equals total peace for you that needs to happen yet. I don't feel like that this is massive. I don't feel like that it's totally impacting everything around you. But that's kind of like the feeling that I get associated with that, okay? So let's see what's going on for you, Scorpio. All right, Scorps, let's see. Grove, self-care. See, oath. It's, I feel like this is a promise to the self to not let anybody kind of run you amok anymore. I will say you could be dealing with some distractions too, and it's kind of like trying to put yourself back on a path that is conducive to the goals, the manifestations, your self-care, your self-love, your nurturing that you need to do at this time. So this could be, just you checking in with yourself and going, what is it that I need versus what is everybody else's needs, and what do I need to do to stay on that course, right, on that path. Hold on a second. She's driving me bonkers. It still hasn't stopped, but here we are. Like, oh my goodness. All right, guys, let's get into it. All right, Spirit, what does Scorpio need to know at this time? See, reminder, don't forget forbidden. Scorpio, I feel like a lot of these readings tend to kind of deal with the past. I feel like a lot of these readings tend to deal with things that you have put extreme barriers up to that are requiring you to have strong barriers and boundaries with people and situations. I think sometimes the way this comes through is in this, there's a reminder to you. There is, it's like, I've talked about people in your past that don't want to quite let you go. I also feel like there are parts of forgiveness. Maybe this is even, for some of you, I feel like this is going to be somebody you're still dealing with. But I don't think on a negative sense. I think you may have had some situations with them that maybe weren't exactly harmonious, but they were lessons that had to be learned. And some of you could be almost like blocking out memories of something. Maybe you're dealing with somebody who is blocking memories out, things that maybe you have forgotten. It's given me a couple of different stories. And another part of this too is, Scorpio, I feel like this is subconscious blocks as well. So maybe you feel like the way you get information from spirit or how you meditate or do things, it's not, how do I put it? Spirit is saying it's not helpful to the way in which you used to do things. So what that kind of gives me inclination of here too, Scorpio, is, I've talked about it with some of the clients that I've read for and things that when you're talking about developing our intuition and things of that nature, there are going to be different ways that you connect with your intuition. Maybe you're on a streak where all you see is numbers. Then all of a sudden, all you see is animals. Then all of a sudden, you're seeing things in writing rather than hearing things or getting certain kinds of downloads, right? But part of this though too feels like Spirit is saying an unlocking of a level. And I forget, I don't know if it was a client or in one of the videos where I said about Akashic Records. I think it might have been with a client. But you're unlocking the next path forward for yourself. And I feel like that if you also feel there's a lot of information coming in with this in various ways for all of you. If you feel like your road has been blocked in your progression, like you feel stuck, you feel stagnant, Spirit is trying to slow you down right now to remember why how you've gotten to where you are in this very moment. This is about being present. This is about being aware. This is about trusting in the divine path forward in that journey. And that is also something they talked about when I was meditating and channeling some messages for you all, that, you know, these roadblocks that you may feel like you're hitting right now, they're coming in for a reason. And I remember talking in the last video about after this, whatever, I don't remember how I worded it, that things would pick up. And the slowdown was meant to show you something about yourself, was meant to teach you something about yourself. Spirit said your abundance is getting ready to come in tenfold. So this is just, you know, it's like reminding yourself to be grateful for everything that you have, right? Sitting in a state of peace for yourself, or remembering, you know, all of the challenges that brought you here. Why are you on this path? And it doesn't necessarily have to do with anybody else. It's got to do with you and the work that you're putting into yourself. So, I don't know, very, very important messages. I feel like there's a mix of you with these various things that are happening. And I feel like part of this, it's giving me the 7 of Cups kind of energy. Not so much the instant gratification, but the confusion as to why things are taking place the way they are, or you're feeling stuck by something. And I talk about that self-care, and here comes the Grove. You know, that Grove in this particular deck is all about self-care. It's about nurturing yourself. I seen something a little while ago, and it kind of makes me think about this Grove. And it's specific to women, but it's not just about women. It's men. It doesn't matter. Them, they. It doesn't matter, you know, how you identify. But when you become the person who is always cooking meals, when you become the person that is always on the go, when you become the person that's always doing the laundry, you're the one who's always taking care of everything around you. 8, by the way, on the timer as I looked up there. Things go around, come around, right? When you become the person that's always doing for others, who is doing for you? So we know we could chalk that up to, excuse me, what is reciprocal, right? What is coming back around? And it's telling me, give me 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. That this is about you. And you may be looking at that. You may be redefining partnerships, redefining your relationships, redefining, you know, the way you work, the way you move, the way you live, the way you do all these different things, right? Based upon on that. And it's like finding something that is comforting to you, finding, you know, some of you may be staying at home right now a lot. You know, there may be part of this time out is kind of like you hermiting with this belonging. It's trying to reignite your passions. It's trying to reignite your soul. You know, did you spend the last week, I keep having to clear my throat, I don't know why. I've been fine all morning until now. Maybe you need to say something to somebody. Maybe it's even to yourself. Maybe it's to Spirit, right? I don't know. But it's like, did you spend a lot of time in the last 7 days or so giving to something else that was not fulfilling for you? So you may be like, even some of you could have been on like vacation or something and you've returned home, and now it's kind of like it's time to get back to work. It's time to get back into the groove, Scorpio. It's time to get back to Spirit is saying you. So whatever that means, if you kind of took a hiatus, needed a break, whatever this is, it's kind of like putting distractions on the back burner and saying, I really need to focus my energy on a spiritual level right now. Cathedral of Light and Soul Family, happy reunion, support order from chaos. I do. I feel like with that order from chaos, like, you know, you could have been in something, right? Like, and I don't feel like it's anything dramatic, Scorpio. I want to make that very clear. It's not dramatic. It's just kind of like life playing out, right? Like we're getting in, if we're on vacation, right? We check out from reality for a while. We go away. We enjoy ourselves. You know, maybe we're just out doing things and staying busy. You know, who knows, right? But this order from chaos is going, you might have gotten caught up in that 3D material kind of world where all of those kind of things that matter, you know, to a point, maybe in relaxation or taking a pause with that forbidden is, it's like, okay, you had your fun. Now it's time to get back on path, right? And stubborn attitudes extending the olive branch artistry. You know, I see this energy here as standing at the forefront, reasserting. I'm hearing reasserting herself. Him, they, again, doesn't matter. But reasserting the power and authority that you have over your own life. And, you know, soul family, you know, your soul family, Scorpio, isn't just on Earth, 1111 as I say this. This is also about those on the other side. You know, you, and I've said this to you before, Scorpio, it's time to go it alone for a while. It's time to do these things in a specific way for a little while. Stop trying, don't get caught up in trying to connect to others in the physical realm. Your soul family is more than just who's around you so you don't feel lonely. Okay? That's an important thing to remember. Like, you are governed, protected by those on the other side. Those are your soul family. I've said, like, talk to them, like, talk to spirit, talk to God, talk to angels, talk to your ancestors, you know, whatever. I want to go Mother Teresa. From the perspective of, that is your best friend. That is the person that you go to. Call them a person if you want to. Let them be real. You know, have those conversations because they are being heard from the other side. 21 and 12 could be very significant numbers. 21, 12, 12, 21. Twos could be very significant right now as well. But you've kind of, I'm going to say, flipped the script a little bit on what you've been doing and starting to get out of something here that it feels external to you. It feels like it's outside of you. You've been dealing with a lot of external kind of stuff. Going to home, right? As I say that, inner oracle. You are the channel, deja vu, self-fulfilling prophecy. I will say, it's almost like, Scorpio, and I've said it before, and I'll probably say it 1,000 more times. It is having one foot in the spirit world and having one foot in the 3D world. You need to strike balance between the two. And some of you could be struggling with how it is we work spiritually, and then how it is that we try to find some kind of conduciveness to how we're expected to relate to things in the 3D world. Like, we have to work, we have to make money, we have to do these things, right? We have to survive. And it's kind of like you could have been out on a quest in some way, seeking this information, or this fulfillment, if you will, from other places outside of yourself. And Spirit is asking you to, it's time to go back within. 1331, the numbers are crazy. Energy, medicine, sensuality, devotion, celestial, fertility, deep rest. Some of you could need to rest right now. Stop fighting with the universe. Okay? I do feel like some of you are kind of in this place of, I don't want to say fight, stubborn energy, right, Scorpio? I mean, let's be real. We are one of the most stubborn signs in the zodiac. We are a fixed sign. We have our ways about us that propels us forward, but yet sometimes can be self-sabotage, really, right? Like, we get in our own way, right? You know, it's a tough message to hear, taking accountability that we can allow mindsets or thoughts or patterns or people and situations to get in our way of that equivocal balance. And I do right now feel like you are seeking some self-care to bring back into balance. So, Scorps, you could have gotten a little off a path, or you could be feeling like things aren't quite sitting right and they keep bringing in that damn 7 of Cups going, now what? Some of you could feel really inundated too if you were going through a period or a phase of procrastination where a lot of things could have piled up. And now you're looking, you know, maybe at a stack of mail that you haven't gone through. You didn't want to look at the bills or whatever this was. where now it's like, shit, I have to sit down and do this, right? Like there's something about the timing of it that has to be done. It's just like, but I also think there's a realization that as you release these things, as you get these things done, it's going to release burdens. It's dropping those 10 of Wands, right? I will say this as well, 41, 14. I've got 41 and 14, and I'm going to tell you too, with this, and then those both break down to a 5. There's that Cathedral of Light again, which is a 5. So 5, 5, 5 here, Scorpio. Some massive changes are on the horizon for you. This is reasserting your power. Now, I will also say this. If there is somebody you are dealing with, whether this is a partnership or that maybe that person that was a distraction, right? They could be reflecting that energy back to you. I think you're getting a reflection of energy back from both spirit and whatever situation has kind of held you up, right? Gotten you off course, and at your own free will, right? You participated in it. So, but now you're realizing that you need to back up. 1551, just a second ago there, I seen that. There's something about those ones being at the beginning and at the end of these numbers. Something very, very important. So you could be seeing a number with ones behind it or in front of it, like 115 or 511 or 211, 411. I don't know why those are coming up so strongly, but those 211, 511, 411 specifically. Okay, so be aware of that. You are kind of relearning a little bit here of something of the past in some way as well. Again, it's a reminder. You're kind of going through a little cycle right now, Scorpio. I don't think it's going to last very long. But back to what I was saying, they're bringing in so much information right now. With that, right, if you're dealing with somebody else, you and this person could very much be reflective. So this kind of also gives me a little feeling of codependency, Spirit is saying. And codependency, right, we get caught up in things. We become maybe obsessed. Scorpio energy right there, right? We're obsessive sometimes, of taking care of things in a certain way. Maybe that it's almost like some of you could have slipped back into a pattern of people pleasing, kind of letting certain boundaries and things slide a little bit. It's almost like at some point something very minor happened or happens that you're like, wait a second here, like I don't like that, I don't feel that, like I let that slide and that slide, and this is kind of pushing it for me. That little bit of I'm uncomfortable with this conversation, or the way something took place, or the way something was said, or just a feeling that I got, is that one thing that is kind of creating a little bit of a catalyst, yeah, maybe you've got calluses, I don't fucking know. Whatever. Catalyst for this awareness about yourself and the work that you need to put into you right now. So, and Scorpio, I've said it before, like things are not going to be, for the most part, on the day-to-day, I'm going to call it, as dramatic as you once, what you were once used to, put it that way, right? They're not going to be as dramatic as they once were. And now it's like you're kind of questioning with that 7 of Cups again. Thank you, Spirit. Like, shouldn't this be worse? That's like, Scorpio, you're so used to the other shoe being dropped, right? That when it doesn't go catastrophically wrong, there's not a huge blow up. There's not this like impending feeling of doom from a situation or a conversation. It's almost like you don't know what to do with that. It's like the lesson should be harder, right, Scorpio? Like we've dealt with so many hard blows that like this is the lesson. That's all there is to it. It may make you question whether or not it's even a lesson. Yeah, it is. I talked about the distractions, right? And as I pulled on this reminder, things that may have gotten you sidetracked, the amusement park card comes out. That to me is, it's thrilling rides, it's fun, right? We're festive, we're out celebrating, doing things again, right? All of those things. We just had the 4th of July, a week or so ago. So, you could have been out doing all these things, and it was like, the Spirit is saying, like, the party never ends, right? Like, let's keep going. That felt so good to be in a loose goose kind of feeling, right? Like I got to free myself up. I had fun. I was dancing. I was singing. Maybe I had a beer. I don't know, right? Like whatever you do. No judgment here. But, whatever that vibe was that felt good for a minute, it's like you tried to stay in it. And it's like, again, snap back into it, Scorpio, back to reality here. That yes, go out, have fun, do things. It's kind of like you've gone from, in typical Scorpio fashion, going from one extreme to the other, right? Kind of gives you that Gemini feel, right? They're either high or low. And then, you know, and now add Cancer season in the mix. You've got that emotion that's flowing around with it. And it's like, you know, maybe you're letting your emotions of how good things feel, that endorphin high, like take you for a ride. But something about this is like realizing there's maybe a muse in the midst of this situation, right? Like there's a muse that makes you feel good, that you can play and create and mold, but is it coming from a healthy place? And I feel like for a lot of you, they're giving me attention to the gut, the solar plexus energy, that it felt good for a little while, right? It feels good to cut loose and just be free and you know, whatever, right? Get away from responsibility in life. But it didn't, like, after so long, maybe a couple of days, even a couple hours, who knows, it's going to be different for all of you. All of a sudden it was like, I don't know, this doesn't feel quite right to me. Maybe I need to separate myself from this. And I do think that Spirit is just saying it's time to get back on track. Nothing crazy, nothing, look, your finances, you know, Scorpio, I really feel like you're trying to manifest probably something in the material world. So maybe a car, a house, a yacht, what the hell, a yacht, maybe you want a yacht. And by that way, it's like, but you have to put the work in, right? Like you've got to do something to move that energy along. Like what's meant for you is going to be for you regardless, but Spirit needs you to be that co-creator to your world. Right? And I feel like that's kind of what they're pushing you to do right now. Maybe pay attention to your finances, make sure you're balancing your checkbook if you keep a checkbook. You know, at least check your account online. Are your bills paid? What can you do to pay off some debt? You know, things like that. Like these blessings are coming in for you, but Scorpio, Spirit wants you to make sure that if you get these blessings in, you don't work so hard to build those things up that down the line, like let's say you get accustomed to a certain way of living based upon your budget, right? That you will go 6 months and things are phenomenal, but then all of a sudden you kind of just get a little lazy and lackadaisical, and then it's like, shit, I missed the mortgage payment this month. Shit, I didn't make the car payment this month. Shit, I don't have enough to go buy groceries now, because you're being distracted by outside influences. Scorpio, this is a big lesson in balance. Okay? Finding ways to balance your money, finding ways to balance your security, finding ways to balance your stability, finding way to balance play, finding ways to balance work, love, all of those things, right? So this is very important to you finding an internal balance within, so that you can, like, I'm going to call it, have the best of both worlds, have your cake and eat it too, right? But they want to make sure that if you're going to do this, that you've learned so much that you're feeling that intuitive awareness that goes, wait a minute, I'm getting a little too extreme. I'm going this way too much, or I'm going that way too much, right? I need to slow it down. Maybe not spend so much. Maybe not give so much. Maybe I need to rest a little more, right? Like it's really working to find you some excessive balance, because I think it's necessary for you, because you tend to kind of go one way and then the other, right? We get a little, I don't know, maybe wishy-washy. I don't even know if that's the right word. All right, Scorpio. Yeah, work. Like here it is, work. Right now it's time to do the inner work. You have travel, departure, arrival, airport, and lounge. You know, when you talk about travel and departure, I want to show this to you. You know, he's got his face going one way, and then he's got his face going the other way, right? He's looking at both sides of a situation. Departure, arrival. You know, so I feel like you've departed from something, and it's going back into the work, right? It's time to get back to work, Scorpio. And then with this commute underneath here, you know, maybe you're at a distance from somebody. Again, some of you could have been traveling. I said it, and I'm going to say it again. But this too, Scorpio, is about the next direction that you're going. You know, the thing about this vehicle is it's moving forward, right? It's like rehab. I can't talk. rehabilitizing. Is that a word? I don't know. We're going to go with it. You're rehabbing. There we go. Rehabbing yourself, right? Makes me think of Rihanna's Rehab. What, her and Justin Timberlake. Oh my God, showing age. That's an old song. But it's like you're rehabilitating yourself. Maybe some of you do it by driving, music, putting the windows down. I will say to you, it's okay to get out. Like, while you're working and doing the things you need to do, you know, maybe you find solace in driving down the highway at 70 miles an hour with the wind whipping, right? Like, maybe that's your piece. There's something in that. I do think that in the future, though, some of you guys are going to really start traveling. There's going to be some additional work to something too here, Scorpio. I'm not quite sure what that is. It may require travel. So some of you for work may be traveling. And then trying to find sanctity. There's a little bit of water energy too coming in with this. So something could come in that's a little bit emotionally draining for you, that it's like, geez, what a day. I just want to lay in the tub. I just want to relax. I just need to chill. Like, do the work and then relax, and then relax and do the work, right? Like, find that balance. You know, the one thing they pinpointed to me was like, maybe at like 5, 6 o'clock, you go, this is when I'm done for the day. And the rest of this evening is for me. If I want to watch Netflix, if I want to sit down and pray and meditate, if I want to, you know, put a puzzle together, whatever it is that's a creative thing that keeps those spiritual juices flowing, make sure you're investing in that for yourself. I don't know. Yeah, it's like that spiritual connection is going to be the thing that shelters you from all storms, whatever that means. So just be aware. All right. Whoa. Where the hell did that card? All right. Y'all see me shuffling. This is not a part of that deck. What is this? 7 of Swords. Very interesting, Scorpio. We're going to address that separately. That's interesting. That gives me a little bit of an ick vibe. All right, bridge and garden. Scorpio, that just kind of changed the whole air of this. Not the whole reading, but it energy shift, right? Energy shift. We'll come back to that though. All right, what is this grove about? Gambling, excitement, card tables, jackpot moments, betting, and odds. Scorpio, no matter, there comes that vehicle again. There could be a lot of passion to something coming through here. This grove, though, Scorpio, if you're a betting man, bet on yourself. Whatever that means for you. If you're going to be a betting man, bet on yourself. Every time. You are the one person that can't let you down. If you feel let down, you've got nobody to blame but yourself. Okay? I think those days of you disappointing yourself are coming to an end. And Scorpio, you guys are super hard on yourselves. We are some kind of sick, obsessed perfectionist from time to time. Lay the cards down. Be real. Like, I want to say, this is a reality check, Scorpio, in certain ways for some of you. Some of you could be looking to buy a house. Some of you could be looking to buy a vehicle. Some of you could be just looking to feel better about yourself. You know, taking care of yourself, maybe going and getting your hair done, getting your nails done, being able to afford simple luxuries of life, right? Like, you've worked hard, you've done a lot of things to make good things happen. As I say that, I said luxury, there it is, luxury boutique. You can't make it up. Dazzling gems, precious metals, handcrafted masterpieces, bespoke luxury. Windswept region, breezy gust, oh my God, whirling winds, airy, expansive, dancing leaves, financial center. Scorpio, some of you could be coming into a windfall of money. And now I'm going to say this lightly, okay? I want to make this perfectly clear. I'm not going to be that reader, and I've seen some of them on YouTube, and I kind of just want to lash out irrationally. That are like, oh, Scorpio, you're going to win the lottery, you know, you're going to be a millionaire, you're going to overtake the world and conquer, right? Like Pinky in the fucking brain. Scorpio, there are times in our lives, whether it is buy a lottery ticket, maybe you win $100,000, who knows? Maybe it's an inheritance. That can come with other forms of grief, right? Maybe, you've dealt with an insurance issue for years and now finally they're starting to settle claims. Maybe you sued somebody for wrongful termination or accidents. Maybe it's legalities. It could be, you think about all the various ways money could come in some form that it's just unexpected. And for us, maybe, you're living paycheck to paycheck and it feels like a windfall that just allows you to move forward. When I see this windswept region, that is shit coming in hard, fast, and quick. And then I see this financial center. I mean, that is where, we talk about economic hubs, stock markets, business district. It's strictly business, Scorpio. Whatever that means for you in a specific area, it's strictly business. It's likely to sweep you off your feet. You weren't expecting something here. It kind of gives me this Tower vibe. Now, I will say to you, cautious, as I found that Seven of Swords in the deck. I'm going to piggyback off of that last reading. Your money, keep it to yourself. If you come into $37,000, I'm hearing 37, 56, so maybe 5,600 to 56,000. I don't know what this is. It's going to be very specific. It's a very specific message for some of you. It is nobody's fucking business what you have. Do something good with it without... Do it humbly, Spirit is saying. Do it humbly. But other people that have been takers from you, don't you share that with them. That wasn't... Your hard work is what got you to where you're going. Okay, so some of you could be able to buy a house. Some of you could get a loan approved. Spirit is saying, but make sure there's no strings attached. So just be careful of where this comes in from as well. So again, piggybacking a little bit off the other reading, but Spirit confirming the same. So there you go, right? Be mindful of that. Now I want to clarify the Seven of Swords since it decided to show its face and it's, rearing its head here this morning. Follow your trust. Trust in your guidance, your intuition. Pay attention to the things that are going on around you. It's absolutely necessary. I think I said somebody could owe you money. And I stick by that in that last reading. But they almost, it's like somebody feels entitled to something. It's like, well, you owe me, I'm keeping that $20 because, I gave you a ride that one day when you had a flat tire. We aren't just friends and, you show up if I call you. It's kind of like they're it's a gaslighting kind of shit. All right, Two of Swords, Page of Pentacles. You're being gifted an opportunity and I don't think you know what to do with that. What is the Seven of Swords about, Spirit? Seven of Pentacles in the reverse. Look, Pentacles out the wazoo here. Two of Wands. There's so much energy here, Scorps, around travel. Ten of Swords. The Empress, Two of Wands. We've got the Seven of Pentacles, the Page of Swords, the Ten of Pentacles. You need to be, as much as that Page of Swords is a communicator, Seven of Pentacles in reverse. I don't know. I'm not a fan of it. I've never really cared for that card. It always feels like longing, lacking, waiting, melancholy to some degree, like, I'm just going to sit here. You don't plant a flower or a seed and then stand there and watch it, watch and wait for it to grow. That's always the way I can't help it. That's how I feel about that card. It's like, okay, I've planted it. Now what? I'm just going to stand here. I'm going to be completely inactive and I'm just going to stand here and watch and see what happens. I feel like that is a waiting period for somebody around you. They could be watching you, Scorpio, waiting to see what next move they can make. It's kind of like they want to share in what you're getting, that Ten of Pentacles. And they're offering you, they could sell you a dream, Scorpio. They could sell you a dream. But what you have in the background is that familiarity, that reminder of where you've come from and how much work it took. The Temperance, the Magician laying there as well, the Four of Swords to get. And as I say that, there is the Six of Cups. You remember this journey of what all you had to do to get to where you are. This reading is coming full circle. This is the past coming back around. So whether this is somebody around you coming back around, Scorpio, you cannot forget about the work that you have put in for yourself. This is a reality check to kind of like, you know, I don't know, I'm seeing like this control panel. I don't know if it's a spaceship or a airplane or I don't know, hell if I know. Where you need to kind of review the whole panel. And make sure, I hear Spirit saying all systems a go. Make sure every light is checked for you. Every modality that needs to be turned on to see you forward to your next destination is on and lit up. You're not checking, it's like, you know, Judgment Day, if that's how we want to equate this as an example. When you get to the pearly gates of heaven at the end of life, they don't ask you what Joe down the street was doing or how Joe lived his life. They don't ask you about Sally back home where you grew up, what she was doing and how she lived. They only care about what you've done. What have you accomplished? What did you put out there, Scorpio? And part of this is looking at your own control panel going, did I check this box? Is that on and ready to roll? Do I need to put in work here? Because if I do, then I need to make sure I flip that switch, right? I need to make sure that I am all systems a go, Scorpio, that you are all systems a go. And you are not responsible for other people's systems working appropriately. That's on them. Someone could be trying to tie themselves to your legacy, your work, what you've done for you. No, Scorpio, this is a reality check for you. Bring yourself back into balance. All right, advice for Scorpio. We're going to wrap this up. Advice for Scorpio. Whoa! The whole damn deck is flying in. Scorpio. Ascending. Learning and expansion. Transcending. Preparing for union new phase. The Dragonfly. Lighthearted and adapt. Finding out and change. Things coming to light and healing. Spirit is saying you're going to be slightly disappointed with somebody around you. Maybe some of you even more disappointed than you thought that you could ever be. The seduction, girl with the snake, somebody coming in because they want to, this is the past, nostalgia, this is old memories, someone you have a history with, who is interested in what it is that they can create with you. Be mindful, Scorpio, because I feel like this person, I don't want to call them grimy, but I don't think they're elevated like you are. And I think that they tend to get lazy too. So again, there could be some mirroring, or maybe you were procrastinating. Maybe you procrastinate and they're just lazy, right? It's like they just lack ambition. You were just tired. You know, it's kind of something like that. So just pay attention. Like, don't let somebody pull you back into something that you've worked really hard to get out of. And I don't think that this is, for some of you, this is going to be like a malicious attempt when it comes to other people. I think for others of you, this is just somebody that you got history with, and it's like you're going to have to reassert some boundaries with that person, right? But they're also watching the way that you are moving through life. So you could also be teaching somebody else about how you move, how you do things. The snake, you know, coming out in the reverse, competition. Like you're not competing, right? Like I'm going to go for the exact opposite of this. Like you're not competing with people. Like you see the snakes in the grass now. You know what that energy is about. And it's like, you know, you've separated yourself from those painful lessons. And somebody else could feel left behind as a result of that. But again, like you put you first. The reality check is about you, checking your systems. All systems a go, Scorps. Advice for Scorpio. The chaser, fear of abandonment. I talked about codependencies earlier, right? There it is. Self-indulgence. This is pulling yourself out of that codependency. That's what I mean. Like maybe you're in a relationship, if you know, as an example, maybe you and your person are, I don't know, 300 miles away from each other. And you took a week off and you went out there and you've gotten really accustomed to being there for that week and visiting, and it felt good and it was nice, but you're just like, God, I gotta get back home. All of these things I know are piling up. I gotta get back there. I gotta take care of my shit. This person, you may have struck an abandonment wound within them by going back and stepping back into your bubble of self-care. Okay? That could feel difficult for them, like you've checked out on them, but in all actuality, Scorpio, you're checking in on you. You know, check out on them. I got to check in on me now, man. Like, I got to take care of me. And you may see, like, they might be a little extra communicative with you, or like, it's like a sad puppy kind of vibe, right? Like, oh gosh, you know, like when I sat down here to do this, she's in the other room in her crate. Oh, I can't see her. She left me. Oh my God, what am I going to do? You know, not even meow, but whimpering, whatever. I can't whimper. Like, oh gosh, I'm missing you. I need you. You need them to be independent. You need to be independent. So whatever this is, this could even be a family dynamic, Scorpio. This could even be with your kids, you know. It varies. All right. Look at that. When you take the time to work on yourself, your abundance picks up speed. I'm gonna leave it at this. Do not let other people distract you from your goals, from your happiness, from your abundance. Let them stop being a people pleaser. Stop being a caretaker. Right now, you should be nurturing you, Scorpio. Make that shit happen. Nurture you. Okay? And I want to say, ever since I said, I'm going to say this, pay attention to this even for yourself moving forward. I talked about that 211, 511, 411, 41, 14, 51, 15, 15, 51, whatever I said, 21, 12, right? 12, 21, whatever. Since I acknowledged that specifically, in the specific fashion in which I did, I've not seen it happen again. There's significance in that, Scorpio. 41, 5, yet another point of change, and I'm going to show you. 41, 41, 14. 5, 5, 5. Oh, and P.S. 5. You're changing your entire life by changing your mindset, Scorpio. This is a reality check for you. Welcome back to planet Earth with your foot in the other world. All right, I'm going to leave it there. I'm sending you guys tons of love. Take care of yourselves. I will see you again soon. Personal reads, again, open and available. That information is in the description box below and the About section of the page. Take care of yourselves. Mwah.